I want to start off by saying I am sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I have been poorly, I have gone on a holiday, I've been in the hospital, a lot of stuff has happened this past month, so I want to kind of like get back on here. So hi guys. Basically I came back from holiday and then I got really poorly and I went to doctors. So I thought I had meningitis. It was a whole experience, absolutely petrifying, and I've been recovering for ages. So as you can tell, my voice is like a little bit different. We're just going to pretend that you aren't noticed. That just makes my life just a little bit easier. So this time of the year is probably my favourite time of the year to read books. Right, I like creepy books, I like Christmas wholesome books, I like books about the weather, when it's raining and it's got the leaves falling down and the crunchiness underneath your feet. This is my time and I wanted to pop in here because obviously I got some books I want to read. This is a little bit different to what we have been doing for a while because I'm not bringing out my trusty TBR jar. I'm not. I actually already have a pile of books here. Don't know if you could see them, but it's right here. A couple of them are on pre-order as well, so I actually haven't got the books here, but I'll do a little debrief on the storylines. I'm trying to stick with books that are like creepy, that is kind of like a little bit disturbing, about murdering people, about like Count Dracula, being haunted and chased, that type of stuff. So this is what we are here for today. We're fully immersed in the Halloween month. Okay, so I'm going to start off at the top of my list. So I do have Tender is the Flesh. This was a monthly book read with my book club months ago, but I just kind of saw it and I thought I kind of don't want to read that yet because it was like June or something, and I was like, this is an October read, so I've kept it. A little bit of debrief. I obviously don't want to go into much of the story, but meat, like animal meat, becomes toxic to humans, so people start eating other people and it gets really disturbingly real in this book. You can kind of imagine that was what we do, like the behaviours of the people in here is like kind of the behaviours that we would do, and that's why it's so disturbingly good for this month. So again, it's going to be very disturbing, which I'm kind of counting on. But yeah, disturbed but very intrigued. The next book I've got, and oh my god, I think it was Kate is reading on YouTube, and if you don't know who she is, just have a little gander. She is my all-time favourite booktuber. She mentioned this book and it's Into the Deep by Mira Grant, and basically this is about killer mermaids, right? Do I need to say any more? Like this, there was loads of rumours going around, so then this group of people go on like an expedition to try to find these killer mermaids. And there was one person who was like recording everything on the ship, like it's an expedition, they want like a documentary and stuff, and they don't they? So they record everything on there, and they get to these killer mermaids, and these killer mermaids kill, eat, torture everybody on the ship. The issue is the live feed, the video is being live feed streamed back to their office department, and one of the girls who's watching this footage is kind of watching her sister on the ship get eaten alive by these killer mermaids. So then another expedition goes for these mermaids, and that is all I'm going to say. It's mermaids are eating people alive. Can you think of anything more disturbing but amazing than that? Because I kind of can't, and I'm very, very excited to read that. So that's another disturbing read for this month, which yay. The next one is a little bit of a better aspect than those two books I've just mentioned. This one's My Love Life and the Apocalypse by Melissa Welliver. So this one is going to be a little bit nicer. It's romance. There's nobody eating anybody. So I kind of thought I need this book as like a little palate cleanser. Yes, it will be a little bit disturbing, obviously, because there's no one there. It'll be kind of like creepy. I love zombies. I am very much disturbed of zombies, but I do love like watching shows and reading about them. So I'm kind of excited for this one, especially because they are young They're not adults. I think they're like they're either late teens or young adults, around that age. And at the moment I can still mellow with those, because to me, in my heart, I am still a teenager. Might know what my birth certificate says, but to me, that's what's going on. I thought this would be quite cool. That is all I know. I know nothing of it. I kind of, with romances, I like to go into a little bit blind, because yes, stereotypically romances, 80% of the book they have this massive fallout. Sometimes it's over like something stupid, and then sometimes it's over something actually, you know what, okay, like acceptable. And then they usually 9 times out of 10 get back together at the end of the book. So I try not to read anything else, because obviously I kind of already know what's going on. So that's another one. This one I'm not reading. I just want to clarify here, I'm not reading it all. It's classic tales, so there's multiple stories in here. So I'm not going to read it all, but I would like to read maybe 1 or 2 in my spare time. The reason I got this book is because it is bloody stunning. I just, beautiful. It's a stunning book. I bought this book because I thought, once I decorate my bookshelves, once I have my middle one, I'm going to revamp everything, and I want a dedicated horror shelf, and this is what is going to be like the prime of that. Okay, so as you can see, all these are stories. There's more stories, and there's more stories. So I'm not going to read all of them, obviously. It's the old school stories. It's Old English, and usually I don't mellow with Old English. But because these stories aren't ridiculously long, I thought, you know what? I can do that. I can manage. So the first one here, it says, The Telltale Heart, Edgar Allan Poe, 1843, at page 1. And then the next one, Dracula's Guest, Bram Stoker, 1914, at page 5. So you can tell that the stories aren't long, and that is the main reason I'm reading it. I think this will take me a very, 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 very long time to get through this book. The pages feel nice. I feel like I am in the old school academia, going through a library, and then all the books look like this. Like, that spine is stunning. I'm excited to like go through that a little bit. I hope. I do. I'm going to. Okay. Your Blood, My Bones by Kelly Andrew. Right. I do not know much about this book. I read the first paragraph in the synopsis, and I thought, you know what? That's weird, that's uncomfortable. I'm going to read that this month. Basically, the main girl's father or uncle or someone in that aspect dies, and then gives her, like in the will, gives her the house or the barn. So one day the girl goes over and is like, right, let's have a look at this barn, let's go through it all, see what's inside it, see what I can sell off, blah blah. And then she goes in the basement, and I do believe it's her childhood friend tied up. Why, you may ask? I do not know. So we're going to find out this together, because I am intrigued. Because why? What has this person done to be tied up? And I guess we'll find out, because I don't know. The next book I have is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco. Again, unsure. It kind of explained itself. I don't know what else to say about this. Again, I got this inspo from Katie is Reading from YouTube, and she is obsessed with him. I think there's maybe like 5 or 6 books in this series, and they're all about women. And back in this day, does it say what year it is? So we don't actually say what year, but basically women weren't allowed to do jack shit, really. They, in your place, woman, in the living room, make me a cup of tea type of thing. And I think it'd be quite cool seeing a woman's point of view in murder, because you don't usually see that from the Victorian era. It's all I know, that is all I know, and I think that's all you need to know going into this book, because obviously we all know who Jack the Ripper is, and if you don't, sort yourself out. Hello. So yeah, it's romance, it's women in the Victorian era, it's Jack the Ripper, it's murder, it's details about the murder. Straight in my basket. The last physical book I have before I go on to my pre-orders is Lucy Undying. Right, so it says here, Dracula changed her, love will transform her. This is my newest purchase actually, I think I got it maybe last month, and it's about Dracula's first victim. And I'm intrigued and very disturbed because all these are wolves and eyeballs in her hair. So I think it's going to be a nice romanticised take on Dracula. Never read the Dracula story. I know, don't come for me, I probably should do. I've watched a lot of Dracula shows, but I've never actually read the Dracula books, because there's multiple. And I want to start getting more of like a gist on it, because I'm not a massive horror girl, but I like reading horror. Watching horror, I don't like thrillers. I will absolutely pee myself because I am that scared. Thrillers for me, not happening. I kind of need to get into the reading side of it all, but that is honest, that's all I know. Again, try not to look into my books because I like to be pleasantly surprised. Okay, I'm going to talk about the books that I've actually ordered. One of them is a manga. Actually is a child book, but it's for a manga and it's also about vampires. I just think the concept's really cool. It's called what's it called? I think it's called Garlic and the Vampire. I'll put it up here, I don't remember the author. But basically the concept of it is, on the hill there's a massive castle and the town believes the vampire lives there. So who's the best to go and investigate than the Garlic himself? Like, this guy is an actual Garlic. Like, he's a Garlic in a suit. And I do think this book is for grade 3 to 7. I am 25, so I fit right in that age gap. I'm very excited to read that. I think it'd be quite cool. I want to read a little bit more of my mangas because I read them on my phone. I have an app and I read them on my phone and I love them, obsessed with them. But I just kind of want to like start collecting a couple of different ones. Like, for example, you might not know this, but I watch a lot of anime, and for example, one of them is Jujutsu Kaisen. That one has come to a finish now. The manga is finished. But that one's quite a popular manga. So rather than actually buying the physical books, I will just read it online. I don't want to waste, well, not waste, but because I've got it online, it's not occupying a lot of my shelves on here, so I'd rather get something more an acquired taste, more different, something you don't see often, to then put on my shelves to have a collection for. I do have another one that's very recently come out, and it's those Disney books for adults, and it's called Sally's Lament. This is Night Before Christmas, but Sally's point of view, and all I want to say is I'm so goddamn excited because this book, Jack finds Christmas Town, doesn't he? And it's all about him. Well, this book is what if Sally found Christmas Town, and it's all about her. And I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I once read a book called, I think it's Long Live the Pumpkin Queen or something along that aspect. I'll put it up here. And that one is Chef's Kiss. Like, honestly, mwah, mwah. Loved it so much. That one, you find out the origin of Sally, because yes, watching it you can kind of tell she's different from everywhere, isn't she? Like, she's inside of her is leaves. She's not scary, like everyone else is a little bit creepy. She's not, she's just like a rag doll. So you kind of find a background story of where she originates from, and I don't want to say anything else because it is superb, the read. If you want something that's a little bit cutesy-fied, which is obviously a little bit of, not horror, but it's got the October vibes to it, please, for me, have a look at this book, because honestly, 10 out of 10 would suggest to anyone. I really would. But Sally's Layman, yeah, I just thought I love those books so much, and they're a nice little aspect to my shelves. The next one is Fangs, like Fangs by, is it Kelly Anderson? I believe. I'll put it up here. And this one again is a short story. It's not a long story. It's, I think, maybe 100 and something pages. And for the gods of it, I cannot remember what it's about. Obviously it's good because I bought it. I'm not gonna buy a bad book. Again, the gods of it, I cannot remember what this story is about, but I'll put it up here if you want to screenshot it now. I'm so sorry, I've completely forgotten, my brain. Not working right now. The last book I have ordered, again, it should come at some point this month, is Small Spaces, and I think it's by Catherine Arden. Again, I'll put it here. This one's supposed to be immensely creepy. Like, you sit there and you read it and you're like, it gives kind of like those thriller vibes, like I'm scared, like help me, like get me out of this book, like I don't want to read this book at night time, and I want to read that book so badly, like so badly. I think they're high schoolers, like the young adults, and it's basically about they are on a school bus. The school bus breaks down in the middle of like nowhere next to a cornfield. You know when you're watching something and something happens near a cornfield, you know shit's gonna hit the fan, because that is a horror setting. I cannot think of anything more horror-like than a cornfield. It's dark, obviously corn, real goddamn tall, you know what's hiding inside it. When it moves, there's that. And the bus driver basically says to these kids, run, they are coming for you. Don't hide in big spaces. Find small spaces and you'll be fine. And then he legs it. Could you imagine being in a place at night time next to a cornfield, and then the only adult says that and then leaves? Could you imagine? Oh my god, the worst thing ever. So this, obviously, this is my month of reading. I want horror, I want to be creeped out, I want dark stuff, I want disturbing stuff. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know if you've read any of these books, or if you're going to read one of these books, because I kind of like to be creeped out with somebody else, and then I can talk about the really disturbing things, because that would be real good. But I will see you in next week's video. Bye, guys.